So hey girl, hey. So welcome back to the channel. So in this video, I wanted to talk about feminine energy. And so in this video, I wanted to talk a little bit about feminine energy because I haven't in a while on my channel. And honestly, feminine energy is something that I'm very passionate about. And I wanted to do more things on my channel, which I shared in my previous video on my life update, more about what's going on in my life and things like that. And I wanted to share how feminine energy really changed my life and how it allowed me to more so love men. And I know that sounds weird because I've always liked men, but like actually fall in love with men. And that, just saying it out loud, is kind of interesting. And so, for a long time, and this is just like kind of a vulnerable video for me. For a long time, my relationship with men has been like, I always liked men, but I always felt like it was where we were competing, and it was always a war between women and men. And that's kind of like conditioning and programming as well, because you see it all the time on like TV and in social media and things like that. It's like men against women and things like that. And the reason why I'm sharing this, because I think it's important, because whether or not you are looking to better your relationships with men, your dad, your brother, if you're married, your husband, or if you're looking to get into a relationship, how can you work with masculine energy? And I've shared a lot about feminine energy and the attributes about it, how it feels, and how to embody feminine energy. But I wanted to share more on a personal level how it's impacted my life and how it's allowed me to better my relationships with men in general, whether it's romantic, platonic, just relating to men, and how it's allowed me to really fall in love with men. Like, I've been in a relationship with men. I've always liked men, but it was always like, if I was in a relationship with a man, it was like, how do I manipulate, control? How am I going to grasp things that I desired, and how do I get the things that I desire? And so it was coming from more of a manipulative, controlling nature type thing, which is more masculine energy. I was more in my masculine energy, so and you could say that's a toxic masculine energy, I would say anyways. And how do I navigate relationships with men, being that I needed to, or just from a place of control. And it didn't serve me, it didn't serve the relationship, and it didn't serve the man either. And so as I learned about feminine energy and I started more embodying feminine energy, and I learned more about masculine energy and how to work with it and not against it, is when I really started to fall in love with masculinity, and honoring it and respecting it, and just like something that kind of is important to me. It's not just like I want to be in a relationship, but just seeing, honoring the masculinity, honoring men, and seeing how beautiful that energy is and working with it, is how I really started to fall in love with masculinity and men. And And so it took me to really start embodying more of my feminine essence and my femininity, my femininity, to really like see how, because I started seeing masculinity and men from a different lens when I started to embody my own femininity, and it felt divine. And honestly, when you are working with, and this is what I talk about on the channel, working with the energies and not against it, because oftentimes we are working against it if we are trying to manipulate, control, and get our way without working with the energies. It's so much easier. Things are so much easier. Things just, and it's beautiful. It's easy, it's beautiful, and it feels good. And so once I started embodying more of my femininity, I hope this video is not all over the place, but once I started embodying my own femininity is when things just became so much easier. And I saw how beautiful masculinity really truly is. And that's when I truly fell in love with masculinity. I didn't see it as something that I was in competition with. I didn't see it as something that was a negative thing in my life, or something that was trying to control me or anything like that. I saw it from a different lens, a more healthy lens, when I embodied my own femininity, if that makes sense. And things just happen. Things are just so much easier for me. And I value masculinity. It looks so much different to me at this point in my life versus when I was more in my masculine energy. It just looks so much different. And I wanted to share that because, I want to encourage people, because it's hard when you don't understand femininity and feminine energy and how to work with it and how to work in harmony with masculine energy. Oftentimes they look at femininity as weakness, and I've actually had comments about that. People are like, how much of a weakness it is, and how dare you? Like, okay, how dare you? And it's so, like, for me personally, I think that everything boils down to energy. And once you understand how energies work and what they work with, whether it's cosmic energy, lunar energy, feminine energy, sexual energy, all of these energies, how you can work with these energies to create and manifest. I went way off on a tangent there. It's a beautiful thing, I think I was trying to say. And so I wanted to share this because, people talk, and again, I say this all the time, people talk about these energies, they talk about what feminine energy is, but it's important to understand why you want to embody it, not just what it is and embodying it and not knowing what to do with it. You got to know what to do with it. Oh, my battery's about to die. But you have to understand how to work with it and what to do with it. And if you're ever in a situation where you're looking to better your relationships with men or masculinity, you're married or something like that, then that's something you could definitely explore. And I encourage you to explore it because it might feel amazing to you. I'm not saying that it's for everyone, because it's not, and that's okay too. But if you're looking to have a certain kind of life, you have a vision for your life and you can't figure out how to get there, it's about learning how to work with the energies. And when I started embodying my own femininity and honoring my femininity is when I really fell in love with men and masculinity and how things started to work in my favor. And it's about working in your favor and living an amazing life. And so I wanted to share a more personal kind of video on why feminine energy, how I felt, why I fell into it, and why I'm a big proponent for it if that's something that you seek for your life. And because it really can change your life. Like, it really changed my life and how I look at life from a whole different perspective and a different lens. And it feels amazing. It feels incredible. And I see life as being beautiful and harmonious and not something that's a struggle. And that was a big thing for me. Like, I felt like I didn't have support. I felt like I was always in struggle. Things were hard. But when I started working with the energies versus just doing like haphazardly, is when things started to work in my favor. And so I wanted to share that. And I know my battery's about to die, so I don't want it to cut off. But I wanted to share that with you all, why feminine energy and how it works with masculinity. And if you start embodying more of your feminine essence, how that can really just change your perspective on men and masculinity and masculine energy. So anyways, that's all for this video. I just wanted to share. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. And that's all. And I will check you guys in the next video. Peace.